Hi and welcome to The Winning Factor. I'm Alan Aitken, and on this show each week we take a look at some upcoming races in Hong Kong and try to isolate an angle to the race that might be a path to finding the winner. Well, it's Ladies' Day on Sunday at Sha Tin, the Ladies' Purse, the key race on the program, but I'm going to have a look at a couple of the undercard events, the first one coming up in race 8, where our winning factor is the trainer. Now this is an open sort of a class 4, 1400 metres. A lot of chances I think in this race, including Beato, who hasn't been far away lately. Pins Prince and Chili Baba both looked unlucky in a similar race last time. Always Fluke was narrowly beaten himself in that race and draws a little better. And there'll be fans of the likely leader River Views and the lightweights Maximise Heart and Young Horizon. So plenty of chances here, and we're going to look at the principal lead-up race to this, where a number of runners also competed, and a very messy race it was. And we've got 4 of the main contenders on Sunday running in this, so Always Fluke, River Views, Pins Prince and Chili Baba. So there's a fair bit to look at, and as I say, it's a fairly messy sort of a race. This is race 85 of the current season. Gate 1, red colours, is Chili Baba, who is never first out of the gates and gets back as usual. Watch him in the straight. Pins Prince, gate 4 in white, yellow and blue, is one of the first out for Hugh Bowman, then steadies but gets shuffled back as River Views comes across to lead. Always Fluke, he's in the dark colours, white sleeves, a midfield, 3 wide with cover. Now the heat map explains quite a bit about this race. So the tempo is pretty genuine, as you can see there, for much of the race. But when they turn for home, the leaders don't find a lot, running a slow final 400 metres. And that's why we see a number of runners, including Pins Prince and Chili Baba, badly held up down the running for clear room. When they do get clear, they find the line, especially Pins Prince, but the bird has already flown. Now that's the sort of race we would normally look at and say it's a poor form race, a race that can't be trusted when they go around again. But certainly Chili Baba and particularly Pins Prince were the best of them there, and it gives me a chance to highlight the trainer John Size as he comes into the best of his season. Now he has 3 wins on the board already, but from November onwards is when he becomes deadly. When we look back over his Hong Kong career month by month and the average number of winners he has, I don't think there's any accident to it. Size every year is not really a player in September or July, the first and last months of the season, but strikes hard through the middle of the campaign from November onwards. A large part of that is the timing of the arrival of imported unraced horses, which are Size's strong suit, and they're only ready for racing by this stage onwards. But it's also a time for the older exposed horses like Pins Prince, who has now had 2 or 3 races back from the summer break and is hard fit again. When we look at the map, it's a race devoid of speed. Now we saw River Views lead last start from a wider gate, and he'll get the front easily again here and control what might be an even slower pace this time, so that gives him a chance. But I won't be surprised if Zach Purton on Pins Prince is a little bit more positive and wants to sit closer than Hugh Bowman did last time, tagging the leaders back to the home stretch and getting him out around the leader for the sprint home. Meanwhile, the more you look at the setup for the main opposition runners, the worse it gets. They either lack early speed or run the risk of traffic problems being caught wide. So the tip in race 8, Pins Prince. His winning factor, the trainer. Now he's by no means a standout. He's one of a few chances here, Pins Prince, but he does get the best of the map, and he is coming into the season of Size. The other race I want to take a look at is race 9, and our winning factor here, the map. This is a class 3, 1200 metres, and at least half the field can probably win this. Good chances to Beauty Crescent and Armour Eagle up the top of the card. Swift Ascend could be an improver after 1 race in Hong Kong. Northern Beaches was a solid second last start. And lower down in the weights, Zach Purton's mount, Ladies' Choice, up in grade, has a chance. And Greenwich draws better on Sunday. And to me, the main players of that group are Greenwich and Ladies' Choice. So we're going to go back to race 59 this season for the first up run of Ladies' Choice in Class 4. Now, he's in dark blue colours, gate 12. Ladies' Choice begins well, but as you can see, there's enough speed underneath him that Zach Purton is looking around for somewhere to drop in. It never happens. Ladies' Choice ends up stuck 3 wide outside the leaders, and on the heat map we see that the race is fairly strongly run for the last half mile. So he is doing some work out there. In the straight, he looms up like the winner, but that tough run is the difference between winning and losing, as he just flattens out late as fatigue kicks in and the leader kicks back. So a terrific run from Ladies' Choice there. Now, that was Class 4. He's up to Class 3, gets the drop in weight. And certainly that is good enough form to put him in the finish of this race. But Greenwich, he's had 3 runs back now. He has never missed a prize money check in his 5 starts to date. And I think he did a bit of work last start in a race where the replay will also show Beauty Crescent, one of Sunday's rivals. This is race 89, Beauty Crescent, gate 7, pink and black. He's outsped early and gets back. But from gate 14, green, blue and yellow colours, Greenwich is brilliantly away, surging forward and working across to overcome the wide barrier. Now, the speed wasn't that strong, but he's still spending plenty of energy early in the process of getting around those horses inside him and finding the rail. And there will be a price to pay for that in the final 100 metres. Now, Lucky Encounter gets past him in the home straight, and Beauty Crescent unfolds a big finish from back in the field to take second from him on the line. But Greenwich has done well after doing all that early work. And that's why his winning factor here is the map. The leaders here look to be Swift Ascend and Greenwich, this time drawn low. And they both get a clean run early. As you look around them at the start, are several horses who not only don't have a lot of early speed, but aren't great beginners either. So I think that those two will go through. The horses who do have some tactical speed, like Amore Eagle, Ladies' Choice and Northern Beaches, well, certainly 2 of them are drawn very wide and would have to work very hard to challenge the other 2 for the front. And I think that they'll settle for positions off the speed rather than attempting all that extra work. As for Beauty Crescent, well, we saw there he didn't have a lot of speed and he hasn't shown much early speed in any of his runs in Hong Kong, so he's hostage again to whatever the leaders do. Now, on this map, it might look like Swift Ascend and Greenwich are bothering each other up front, which would certainly help Beauty Crescent. But I think with 2 sensible senior jockeys on, I think it's more likely the 2 leaders won't attack each other. Alexi Bedell and Greenwich, he might even be happy to sit outside the leader, back half a length maybe, taking the heat out of the pace and then expecting he will have the beating of Swift Ascend when they turn into the home straight. So the leaders are the ones getting a fairly soft time of it here and keeping their best for the finish, while their main opponents are either giving a start or having obstacles to overcome to get a comfortable run. So for me, the tip in race 9 is Greenwich. His winning factor, the map. Now, there are other chances, but this is a race that looks like it's going to break the way of Greenwich, and I don't think you can say that for his major rivals. Well, that's it from the winning factor for this week. Enjoy Sunday's racing. We'll see you next time.